morning. I've been playing the music forever. You know, it's so nice to finally interview you on my own program, Bobby. Bobby and
nice to be here.
Thank you. It's Bobby Kimball from Toto, lead vocalist extraordinaire. By the way, he's got a great website. If you guys haven't been to it yet, BobbyKimball.com. I love it.
Well, thank you. Actually, it's just one of the many websites I'm involved with. Actually, we have that Toto99.com website that services all the Toto market. And then we have another. It's called TotoNetwork.com.
Now, what is that one? I'm not familiar with that one. Okay,
well, you know, it's brand new. It's pretty much right out of the box at this very moment. It's a subscriber-based thing, and we can do things on this network that nobody else is doing on the web at the moment. We have mobile phones with cameras that it's point and shoot, and we do video, we do still shots and things like that, and we push one more button and it broadcasts it directly to the network. Wow. So on a day-to-day basis, while we're on the road or anywhere in the world, actually, we can broadcast several things like parts of the concert. We can put things like that we've never been able to put on any web pages because, of course, the piracy issue. For instance, I have a back catalog from day one of when Toto was first put together. I have the very first day before we had any songs. The very first day, everyone was in the same room, and we were jamming. And we have little portions of Hold the Line, little portions of Girl Goodbye from the first CD. And I have all of this. I'm digitizing it at the moment. We're going to drop this onto the network. I have so many things like sound checks and rehearsals, early rehearsals of the band that are being digitized as we speak.
That's wonderful.
All of these things are from the genesis of the band. And they're all going to end up on this network. But also then there's the daily interactivity between the people who subscribe. And by the way, at the moment it's still free. So if anyone wants to go and check it out, it's www.totonetwork.com.
For those of you just tuning in, you're listening to jjradio. It's Jason Jeffries and Friends. And this guy is a good friend, and I'll tell you why. I met Bobby, probably, I guess it was 1999. I met you just after you guys recorded the Minefields album.
Right.
I'll never forget talking to you. We were standing on Ventura Boulevard, which for those of you that have never been to L.A., that's the main strip in the San Fernando Valley. That's where it all happened in the 80s, the Valley Girls and everything.
Yeah,
and
that's right. I love L.A.
We're standing out there, we're talking, and you're telling me, oh, you were just jammed that the CD was finally completed and you were so excited to be back in the group. And I got to tell you, what impressed me the most just talking to you as a friend, just talking to you as a fan, was your energy. And I was talking to Fee Waybill last week. Fee did the program.
So was I, actually. That's really wild.
He's full of energy too. Where do you guys get all this energy is what I want to know.
Actually, it's from a totally different source, and they're called fans. No, you kind of bring it to the table with you, but it gets fed by the fans and our friends who care about our music. You know, there's a fire burning there already, and everything that happens after the fans come up is fuel for that fire.
You know, one of the things I want to compliment you on is I've seen you perform probably 5 or 6 times now. I've caught a few Toto shows over the years.
Yeah.
What I love about your performance is you are a true musician in the sense of you hit every vocal dead on, you've got the passion, you've got the feeling, but you also have the ability, when you're up on stage, Bobby, to touch the crowd.
Well, that's the fun part to me, actually. Yeah, you have to believe that, I'm more at home on stage than I am off stage.
Are you really?
I've been doing it so long, and a lot of performers are afraid of their audience, and I think probably one of the reasons they are could be a lack of talent, or they just don't have enough experience with an audience. My forte is to get on stage and be right in the people's face. I love it. There's no better place for me. And, I can speak for the rest of the band. They're pretty much the same way. We all are so alive on stage, more so even than when we leave the stage.
You do that very well, and I've got to ask you, what's it like it being in Toto in the year 2006 as compared to years ago? I mean, what are you guys feeling as a band? Talk to us about the new CD, Falling in Between. It's incredible. We were the first ones to play it, by the way, on the internet.
Really?
We were the first ones. I jumped right on it.
My compliments on your taste.
In fact, let me grab the CD right now. You chat with the audience a second. I'm going to go pull the CD, and I'll tell you all the tracks we've been playing.
Okay. About the new CD. Here we go. Falling in Between was such a different thing for us because we went in the studio. We had no songs when we walked in the door, and our objective was to walk out of the studio with a finished CD. We would daily go in and jam the tracks, working regular business hours, I guess regular. I would say from noon to about 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and we would take the best portions of each day's performance and snip it out from Pro Tools and put together what we felt like was a good song, good chorus, good verses, and so forth. And then the band would go in and record the tracks in a conventional manner. And this is no easy task because when you're jamming, you're working on energy that is kind of produced by someone else. In other words, you're playing off of the other players, and whatever they're doing is causing you to do something extraordinary. So in order to recapture that feeling, recording it by yourself in a conventional manner is very difficult. You have to be a very special kind of musician. But the guys did this, and then at the end of the day, I would take home a CD of the pretty much the finished track and start writing lyrics and melody. And within a few days, of course, it would take me a good 15, 20 hours to write lyrics for a track, and it would take the band about 2 minutes to reject them.
No, they didn't do that, did they?
Stacks of lyrics. I wrote lyrics for just about each one of the songs, maybe 5 to 8 times.
I got to tell you, I'm so glad you are back in Toto. When I found out,
not as glad as I am. I don't care how glad you are.
When I found out you were coming back in 90, was it 98, 99?
98.
I just said, man, these guys are going to be back on top. And that's not a knock to the other guys. Honestly, Toto,
they've always been as good as they are right now.
Exactly, but let's be honest here, and I'll be the one to say this. Your layer of vocals, whether it's a background vocal, whether it's a lead vocal, you've got so much strength, you've got so much oomph to your vocal power that it makes these songs. I give
it everything I have.
In fact, let me give you an example. She's a Beauty from the Tubes.
That's really wild. I was talking to Waybill about 3 days ago about that.
Let me give you another example. Caroline, off the new Chicago album.
Yeah.
Bobby Kimball, layered vocal in there. Sounds great. In fact,
by the way, they're releasing that as a single in about 2 weeks.
I was just going to tell you, I was just visiting my relatives in Toronto, and I caught the show they did up at Casino Rama, and they actually debuted Caroline, and they said it's the new single. And I'm like, thank God, because the record company, and I'm the one saying this. No one else is saying this. The record company doesn't know what they're doing. They're releasing all of the wrong songs. The minute I got the Chicago CD, I went through it and I said, this should be a hit. This should be a hit. And of course, they didn't release any of those songs yet. So I'm very proud of Rhino Records finally releasing Caroline.
So am I, actually. I got a call from Jason a few days ago, and he told me they were releasing it. I couldn't be happier about that decision.
Speaking of new CDs, your new CD with Toto, Falling in Between, we were the first ones to jump on Bottom of Your Soul only because that was released to us as an MP3. But
thank y'all.
The minute I got this CD, I went further, as I usually do. And I went into King of the World, which is one of my favorites. I played Spiritual Man, which I think is incredible. I played No End in Sight. And the other day, we debuted another one from the CD, which people couldn't believe it was you guys, Falling in Between, the title cut.
Honestly, I thought that should have been the first single because we wanted something to really jump out of the box. But Bottom of Your Soul is a killer song. I just absolutely think it's gorgeous. I
got to ask you, what is your favorite passion in life? What do you like to do when you're not singing? We're all curious.
Wow. Yeah, I have to tell you, my day is really taken about. I'm working on four different website things, and I spend a lot of time at the computer. But I raise koi fish, Japanese koi fish, and it's pretty much a passion. They're absolutely gorgeous pets, and it's so wonderful to care for them. When I was in college, I minored in my minor was microbiology. I was studying to be a doctor, and so anytime any of the fish get ill, I take a little sample of whatever it is, whatever spot it is, and I put it under the microscope, and I check it out, find it on the internet, and we treat them. So we save a lot of our fish.
Wow.
Is that a strange habit?
No, I'm always fascinated to find out what musicians do because, you can't expect someone to listen and make music 24 hours a day.
No.
You've got to have some downtime.
Even though I love it quite, it is one of my greatest passions.
Wow.
Sometimes I'll just sit down and write poems. A notion will hit me. I'll see something that I think is absolutely wrong, maybe politically, or someone treating someone bad in a certain way. I'll sit down and try to put that in some form of poetry, and that's where the song "No End in Sight" came from.
Huh.
We were talking about the war in Iraq, Luke and I. They had already cut the track, and we had no idea what to write about. And we were reading the headlines and talking about the war in Iraq, and Luke just looked at me right before I was walking out the door to go and try and write the lyrics. And he said something about, he said, we've been over there quite a while, and there's no end in sight. And I looked at him, and I said, oops, you just hit the subject. So I took that home with me and came back the next day with the lyrics.
You're listening to JJ Radio. It's Jason Jeffries and friends. We're talking with our very special guest, Bobby Kimball. This is brand new from Toto. It's from the Falling in Between CD. It's called No End in Sight.
Some blood falls upon this nation, I wash my hands, hang my head and say, I pray for peace
JJ Radio, Jason Jeffries and friends with a new song from the band Toto. That's called No End in Sight. Bobby Kimball, our special guest this morning. Bobby, thank you so much for taking time out. I really do appreciate it.
Totally my pleasure, man.
God, there's so many things I want to ask you. I could spend hours with you.
You know what? Go ahead and ask.
I'm really excited that I'll be seeing you guys Saturday night here at the Wiltern in Hollywood.
It's going to be quite an event. I have to tell you, I've tried to keep my guest list a little down because I know they're almost sold out, if not sold out by now. I have to say that Greg Phillinganes and Steve Lukather's guest list reads like the who's who of Hollywood musicians and movie stars, because they've literally played with everyone, thousands of people.
Yeah, well, you too. I mean, again, I'm going to refer to last week talking to your buddy Fee Waybill, and the subject came up of West Coast AOR, and I'm trying to educate some of our listeners around the world about West Coast AOR. A lot of people know about it. You, Fee Waybill, Steve Lukather, many others, you guys created that sound.
Pretty much, yeah. Actually, and we were listening to some really good stuff like Steely Dan, these guys and the Doobie Brothers, but also at that very time we were going out, and I was doing background vocals for practically everyone.
Yep.
Along with Michael McDonald and Bill Champlin from Chicago, we had a trio, and when one of us would get a phone call, all three of us would show up. But, I know for a fact that Steve Lukather has probably played on a couple of thousand CDs. They weren't called CDs at that time, though. They were albums, LPs. And, of course, David Page was involved in so many different projects. When I met him, he was doing the Silk Degrees album with Boss Skaggs, which turned into a huge success, and eventually led to the formation of Toto, because the core band was on that CD, Silk Degrees, with Jeff Porcaro and David Hungate and Steve Lukather. And anyhow, long story short, David eventually put together Toto along with Jeff after the Silk Degrees album, and we had a lot of success on our first album through the fourth album, and all during that time, we practically played on everything that you heard that really made any real noise in the first part of the 80s. And it was a fantastic time in music. And
I'm curious, because you were in a band called SS Fools before Toto.
Yes, I was. These are the guys that stayed together, the core band of Three Dog Night. And this is after the singers left. A friend of mine was playing sax with him. He was from New Orleans. His name is John Smith. And he called me up. I was playing in a band in Louisiana, and called me and asked me if I wanted to come out and sing with these guys, and I said, of course, So I came out, I sang with them for about a year and a half, but in our early rehearsals, we were rehearsing in this three-car garage out here in L.A., and converted into a studio, and Jeff Porcaro and David Page were at most of our rehearsals, and, I don't know why, but they always gravitated over toward the piano where I was playing, and they would sit on the floor, and I was thinking, oh my God, the drummer from Steely Dan and the main writer from the Silk Degrees, Boss Skaggs CD, are sitting within 8 feet of me. I had a big lump in my throat, and I couldn't believe they were there, because they were my heroes.
Yeah.
And eventually, when the SS Fools thing fell apart, David and Jeff were talking about putting Toto together, and they called me and asked me to sing with the band, and I was just flabbergasted. Couldn't have been happier, and so many things have happened between then and now. You were
in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
You see, I often think about this for the future, and it's funny. For years and years, I lived in the past. I was just living my life in the past. It was only really this year where I started living in the present, and I'm so glad that I finally, made that move. But now I tend to find myself looking at the future and thinking, what next? What next? And you can't predict it. You never know what's going to happen. But I got to tell you, I'm so glad that you guys continually make music and tour. I'm so glad that I came up with the idea of JJ Radio, and I apologize to you. I haven't really told you what our whole focus is here, but it's all about keeping the music alive.
Yeah.
It's about, talking
well, that's kind of what we're all about as well.
Exactly. It's about talking to you guys. It's getting the music out to the fans. And, what we want to do here, and I'm sure you can relate to this with all you guys are doing on the web. I'm so proud of you guys. The web is our future as far as music is concerned.
Absolutely, I agree with that. And that's why you need to check out this TotoNetwork.com, because it is a thing of the future. It's interactive between us and the fans 100%. And anyone can use this thing to their advantage. Like, say, for instance, a new band can get their music to our audience.
Mm.
Yeah, you can post anything, pictures, music, videos, anything will go on this site, and it's interactive, so people react to it immediately.
Wow. Speaking of that,
Yeah.
I want to talk about your website in just a second, because there's something great that you're doing on your website called the Singer's Corner. I'm very impressed with this.
Right.
First, I want to ask you, of all the Toto backlog, what's your favorite song?
My favorite song?
I know that's a really difficult question to answer, but, whatever comes to mind on the Toto backlog of material, stuff that you do in concert today, stuff that you'll be doing this Saturday, what's your favorite?
I have to tell you, this is probably just a little, maybe a little off color, but I think You Are the Flower, which was my audition song for Toto. I wrote the song one night and went and auditioned it with the band, and that's basically how I got in the group. and to me, it's still one of the best tracks we've ever cut. The lyrics mean a lot. The song was played. I think that was the first take that we put on the CD. That's how strong this band is, They used to do about 1 or 2 takes on any track, and if it didn't work within those 2 takes, we put it in the can, put it to the side, and left it.
It's JJ Radio, Jason Jeffries and friends, our very special celebrity artist guest, Bobby Kimball of Toto. This is from the first record. It's called You Are the Flower on JJ Radio. jjradio, Jason Jeffries and friends, and we're speaking with Bobby Kimball, our special guest this morning, and that was a album cut off of the first Toto CD, You Are the Flower. You know, you guys took some of the pictures for that album. Didn't you take some of the pictures out in North Hollywood at that church? I remember seeing pictures, and I think
for the first album.
Yeah, I think it was taken at the Buddhist temple in the San Fernando Valley. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, actually, if I remember correctly, there was a guy named Ed Cara who is a great photographer, and he had one of the cameras that almost shot. It was a huge piece of film that you drop down into this great big camera, and it would shoot almost the same size as the album cover. And at that time, you know, there was no digital camera or anything. So you had to actually blow the film up, and, you know, whatever size you were shooting, you had to blow it up, and it became grainy depending on how large you blew it up. But this shot almost an album-size photo. So the clarity on it was really amazing. And if I remember correctly, for the first album, we did most of those shots in Ed Cara's studio.
Okay. We're talking with Bobby Kimball, lead vocalist, lead singer of Toto. Also, you're a solo artist in your own right. I've got a few of your CDs here, and one I got to tell you, I paid a pretty price for.
Oh, so you're the one that bought it?
Come on, you did a tribute CD to Ray Charles, which I think is one of your favorite artists, huh?
He is my favorite artist.
Bobby Kimball and the HR Big Band. Man, it's such a great CD. I'm glad I paid the price for this. It's hard to find. One.
Actually, I have a couple of others.
All I Ever Needed,
and Rise Up.
Yeah, some good stuff here. Let's talk about your website real quick, BobbyKimball.com. I was checking out your website the other day, and I was so impressed. What's nice about it is it's really easy to navigate. You guys can find out everything you need to know, discography, tour dates, interviews, releases. What impressed me the most is you've got something called the Singer's Corner. What is that all about?
Well, that's something I didn't have a chance to become involved with while I was coming up through the ranks. And I thought maybe I would give people a chance, you know, if they have enough confidence in themselves to have a place to put their music in front of somebody that might get them recognized out there as a real singer, a real artist. And so many people have thanked me for putting that on there. You know, if you have the internet, and it doesn't matter how big an artist you think you are, you have to get yourself in front of some people. You know, and if your confidence level reaches something that would get you in front of those people, and but you don't have anywhere to put yourself. You know, there's something called the Singer's Corner on my website, and quite a few people go to the website, and they can see you there, and everybody's welcome to put their music on.
You see, friends, this is why I'm taking time to interview Bobby Kimball, because not only is he one of the best vocalists ever of the rock era, he's a nice guy. Hey, Bobby, that's a really nice thing for you to do.
Oh, it's my favorite of people who really need a favor. You know, because believe me, I struggled for a long time during the early years. I really was trying hard to get noticed, and it happened by accident.
It always does, though, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean, the best things ever happen by accident.
I think back to my radio career, and, you know, pretty much everything happened by accident. This show, I don't know if I told you this, but this show actually happened by accident. This started off as a little Sunday night all-request show. One day we filled in on the morning, and they liked us so much, they asked us if we would do this full-time, and we're on every morning now. We're playing music. We're talking to people. We're just having a good time. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. And some of our best work actually on stage happens by accident. We make a mistake, And if we make the mistake twice, it becomes part of an arrangement.
Oh, but that's a good arrangement, though. I mean, that's the way it should be, because that's what do they call that? That's called improv music?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, but it's true. Some of our best material are our mistakes.
One last question for you, Bobby.
All right, sure.
What is in your CD players right now? What are you listening to? Or your iPod? Or your iPod?
Actually, in my iPod and my CD player, I have music that people have sent me recently. There are few artists that I met over in Europe that gave me CDs, and I'm trying to catch up on all of these things. I brought home maybe 50 CDs from different artists over in Germany, Italy, Greece, Holland, France, all of Scandinavia, and people come backstage, musicians, because I'd venture to say 80% of our audience in Europe and Japan and a lot of them here in the States, about 80% of them are musicians.
Mm.
Yeah, and that's quite a compliment. When you have your own kind at the concert that pay hard cash to come out and appreciate what it is you do. I'll tell you another little interesting note. Anywhere from 35 to 40% of our audience, no matter if it's 10 to 20,000 people, 40% of our audience are between the ages of 15 and 25.
Wow.
I'm shocked, because if they're 25, our band was 5 years old when they were born.
Yep.
And I think a lot of these people are breaking into their parents' and their grandparents' record collections.
That's true, because they're trying to find good quality music, and it's a shame. Unfortunately, nowadays, top 40 music is not the best music out there anymore.
Well, I'll tell you, a lot of them were led to us through people like, it's got Roger Sanchez had a number one single with kind of like a pop single with "I Won't Hold You Back," and we've had Africa sampled in several rap albums. I think everything on the Toto 4 album has been sampled and put on an up-to-date CD with somebody singing or rapping over the music. And only explanation I have for that is they needed a good solid bass for their music, and a lot of them use the Toto 4 CD, and we've had other songs from other albums that we recorded, sampled, and it kind of led them straight to us, even though they didn't mention Toto, as the backing track. It led them to us one way or another. Somebody said, that's Toto in the background. And it's pretty fascinating to see so many young faces in our audience. I look five rows deep, and it's people that are 20 and below.
It's a testimony to the strength of the music that you guys have created, and I personally want to thank you for that, Bobby. I mean, I've gone through good times, I've gone through bad times in my life,
haven't we all?
And one of the things that has kept me going is your music, and from my heart, I really appreciate everything you've given me. So this interview, this music, your new CD, I'm playing it because it's the only way I know how to give back to you guys.
Well, we all really appreciate it in the band, and of course, we can't say enough to thank our fans, so what we do is we get on stage and we work it. That's how we thank everyone for what they've given us. Well,
I can't wait. I'll get to see that tomorrow night at the Wiltern LG, and so will you. We're going to do a contest right now. Bobby, I'll give you a minute to think about what song you want to play off of the latest CD, because that's what we'll close with. Right now, if you're the first one to email me, just go to the top of our page here at errorfm.com, click on my email, or go to our homepage, jjradio.com, and you're the first one to email me. Here's what I want. I want to know the title of Toto's latest CD. The CD we're talking about. I want to know the title of Toto's latest CD. The first 2 people that email me the correct answer are going to the concert tomorrow night at the Wiltern LG here in Hollywood in Los Angeles. So if you're listening in France, I don't know if you can get over here that quick. So this contest is probably just to the Californians listening. Bobby Kimball, thank you so much.
Okay.
What song do you want to play off of your latest CD?
Well, without giving anything away, I want to play the title track because they're going to write in and give it to you.
I thought you were going to say that. This tune is killer, folks. I mean, if you've those of you that are listening that have never heard Toto before, I don't know where you've been, but just take a listen to this next song because this song alone will make you an instant fan of this group. Bobby, again, thank you so much for your time.
They can listen to it on the radio, and then they can come down to the Wiltern and hear it again.
There you go.
All right, my friend.
It's JJ Radio, Jason Jeffries and Friends with the title track from Toto's latest CD.
Because of you, girl.
Non-stop music. JJ Radio.